Erica's angel bronze memorial portrait statue has become a favorite to many. There is so much hope and reassurance in the child's smile, gentle hand of the angel, and a fine detail of the girl's dress. Sculptor Lena Torich considers this memorial portrait statue one of the finest and most complex examples of her custom sculpture work. The life-size bronze had to be installed on a narrow cemetery plot. The statue composition was designed to balance the weight of a 6-foot-tall bronze angel while maintaining a weightless celestial feel of the sculptor's figure. This private commission bronze statue became a hallmark of healing for grieving parents. The bronze statue of Erica's angel helped her parents heal after her tragic death from cancer. The life-size bronze memorial stands at Erica's gravesite in a suburb of Chicago, Illinois. Erica's parents wanted her portrayed with a guardian angel who takes her lovingly to heaven. She glances back, smiling and reassuring those left behind that all is well. Seeing the remarkable likeness for the first time brought her parents to tears, but they say the monument has given them an image of her that has helped them heal and brought a sense of comfort and hope. Since it's located in a cemetery at the site of her grave, it has given them a special place to visit and remember. It is a place to touch her cheek or leave a bracelet on her wrist. It is decorated with flowers and love.
Alright, here we are, Montrose Cemetery, Chicago. We stopped here. Let's see if anybody recognizes this name. 1916 to 2006. Don't ask me how to say that. But that would be Tokio Rose. Now I'm a little old to know much about it, just from history, of course. But she definitely went down in history.
Tokio Rose was a name given by Allied troops in South Pacific during World War II to all female English-speaking radio broadcasters of Japanese propaganda. The programs were broadcast in the South Pacific and North America to demoralize Allied forces abroad and their families at home by emphasizing troops' wartime difficulties and military losses. Several female broadcasters operated using different aliases and in different cities throughout the empire, including Tokyo, Manila, and Shanghai. The name Tokio Rose was never actually used by any Japanese broadcaster, but it first appeared in U.S. newspapers in the context of these radio programs during 1943. During the war, Tokio Rose was not any one individual, but rather a group of largely unassociated women working for the same propagandist effort throughout the Japanese Empire. In the years soon after the war, the character Tokio Rose, whom the FBI now avers to be mythical, became an important symbol of Japanese villainy for the United States American cartoons, movies, and propaganda videos. Between 1945 and 1960 tend to portray her as sexualized, manipulative, and deadly to American interests in the South Pacific, particularly by revealing intelligence of American losses in radio broadcasts. Similar accusations concern the propaganda broadcasts of Lord Haw-Hawand Axis Sally, and in 1949, the San Francisco Chronicle described Tokio Rose as the Mata Hari of radio. Tokio Rose ceased to be merely a symbol during September 1945 when Iva Toguri Aquino, a Japanese-American disc jockey for a propagandist radio program, attempted to return to the United States. Toguri was accused of being the real Tokio Rose, arrested, tried, and became the 7th person in U.S. history to be convicted of treason. Toguri was eventually paroled from prison in 1956, but it was more than 20 years later that she received an official presidential pardon for her role in the war. Although she broadcast using the name Orphan Anne, Iva Toguri had been known as Tokio Rose since her return to the United States in 1945. An American citizen and the daughter of a Japanese immigrant, Toguri traveled to Japan to tend a sick aunt just prior to the attack on Pearl Harbor. Unable to leave the country when war began with the United States, unable to stay with her aunt's family as an American citizen, and unable to receive any aid from her parents, who were placed in internment camps in Arizona. Toguri eventually accepted a job as a part-time typist at Radio Tokyo. She was quickly recruited as a broadcaster for the 75-minute propagandist program The Zero Hour, which consists of skits, news reports, and popular American music. According to studies during 1968, of the 94 men who were interviewed and who recalled listening to the Zero Hour while serving in the Pacific, 89% recognized it as propaganda, and less than 10% felt demoralized by it. 84% of the men listened because the program had good entertainment, and one GI remarked, "Lots of us thought she was on our side all along." After World War II ended in 1945, the U.S. military detained Toguri for a year before releasing her due to lack of evidence. Department of Justice officials agreed that her broadcast was innocuous, but when Toguri tried to return to the United States, an uproar ensued because Walter Winchell, a powerful broadcasting personality, and the American Legion lobbied relentlessly for a trial, prompting the Federal Bureau of Investigation to renew its investigation of Toguri's wartime activities. Her 1949 trial resulted in a conviction of one of 8 counts of treason. In 1974, investigative journalists found that important witnesses had asserted that they were forced to lie during testimony. They stated the FBI and U.S. occupation police had coached them for more than 2 months about what they should say on the stand, and that they had been threatened with treason trials themselves if they didn't cooperate. U.S. President Gerald Ford pardoned Toguri in 1977 based on these revelations and earlier issued with the indictment.